Plant or a native to Colorado?
I'm a native. I'm an actual Denver native.
Holy shit, we don't get a lot of those.
And that goes to our next question. What hospital were you born in?
St. Anthony's, I'm pretty sure.
Shout out to St. Anthony's.
Shout out to St. Anthony's. I'm fair. Yeah. I'm Denver native. I grew up. My first house was right at like 13th and Tennyson.
Look at that.
And then ended up, my family moved to Lakewood, so then I grew up in Lakewood. But I'm from right here, man.
You're a West Sider.
Yeah, dude.
I think they call that North.
And honestly, my whole family, like not just me, like my entire family, extended family, both sides, mom and dad's side, both has lived in Colorado for generations. My great-grandfather came straight from Italy, from Sicily, to Trinidad, Colorado to work in the mines. There was like a whole bunch of Sicilians that were working in mines down there. So
you're like a fourth generation native?
Yeah,
Holy
dude.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's
so we've only lived in Colorado here.
Okay, so have you ever left for like?
No, I really haven't. No, I haven't. I travel a lot, so it's.
Well, we didn't think you were like locked.
No, I know. No, I just wanted to clarify that, maybe you didn't think that, but who knows who's listening.
They're like, this guy's scared of Kansas.
Yeah,
he won't even leave.
No, I went to school. I actually played football up in Boulder for CU. And so after that, I started I worked for, around Boulder for like 6 months or 7 months, and then started helping a friend with a brand that he was running, and then we, about a year later, 6 months, a year later, opened a clothing store, a streetwear store in Denver in 5 Points, and that was in, I think, 2014.
Okay.
And so I was stuck here after that.
So
we had a business, yeah.
We're in the same camp.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, I would love to leave, but where the fuck
Right.
The Mediterranean is the only place that is better.
So what got you into like fashion? If it started all the way back in 2014,
I started getting interested in, what is considered streetwear in high school. I had a couple of kids around me that, that's always how it goes, like a friend or someone around you or some like an icon that you look up to, something that happens where you like clicks and you see this person wearing it and you're like, damn, I want to wear that too. But so saying that's what happened in high school. I just had a couple of kids around me who kind of put me on to what at that time was like super early Supreme. This is like 2008, 2009 Supreme. And then at this time it was also like Crooks and Castles, like LRG, like the Hundreds, like brands like that were really just kind of bubbling off as like these underground kind of like cool kid things, And so I got into that, and then I just was playing ball in college, but didn't know what I wanted to do after that, but like still had an affinity for this and kept up with sneaker culture, and there was more guys around that on the team that were also then interested in that, and kind of it just fostered, and then that was the only obvious thing. Like once I was done playing, I just wanted to, I didn't have anything else that I was really like, oh, I'm interested in. This is like something I want to pursue. And there was a store in Boulder called Installation.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so they had this early location on Pearl Street that was so dope. It was like just a lot of wood, and they had these shoes hanging and like the way the shoes were hanging and like the displays, like they had just killed it. And they were actually, doing like sneaker releases for limited shoes and SBs, and that was, no one in Denver or Boulder was really even on it, and so it was easy to get stuff there too, and it was kind of like this like untapped gold mine. And I remember wanting to work there, and they're just like, you don't have retail experience. And I'm like, I mean, right, exactly. Like, fucking gives, yeah. But so I didn't have retail experience, so I went and I just ate shit for like a little while and worked at some retail jobs, and then I ended up right when they opened their store, I got a job at Kid Robot. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's like a really dope, like it was a really dope like vinyl art company. They're still in business, but they've changed hands a couple times. It's been bought and been sold, and so it's just not as cool as it was. But it's, it's synonymous with Bear Bricks and like Super Plastic is the company now that's killing it. And so it's kind of like just like these toys, but that are as more looked at as art. They're platforms for different artists to kind of to customize, to paint, to whatever. And that company was huge. Like it was started in New York, and it was like just this like culture bomb, and it moved to Boulder late 2010s. So I worked for them, and then that kind of just like sprung me into the whole world, man. And then it was obvious that I wanted to either manage a shop, own a shop, whatever. And as things progressed, it seemed more fun to do it yourself. You know,
better than folding clothes.
Yeah,
and putting them back on the rack.
Fucking working in Nordstrom Rack for a while.
Oh
was
shit!
Assistant manager at a PacSun, like the worst jobs, dude.
PacSun.
The worst fucking jobs. I worked at PacSun for 2 months, and I quit the week of Black Friday because I was like, I'm not fucking doing this shit, dude.
I was going to say Abercrombie & Fitch or American Eagle.
Oh, it's like
real,
Buckle.
dude.
He's at Buckles, just like folding jeans and like, this is
Never again, but damn, am I good at folding on laundry day. Oh, I'm nice on laundry day, dude.
I bet your closet's probably the size of this podcast studio. Like, you have to walk in and there's T-shirts of like Michael Jordan from high school all the way through like your.
It's actually disgusting. I've been trying to cut down on my closet as of late and just say, okay, I can only have this many pieces hanging. This many pieces are allowed to be folded in my drawers. But that doesn't mean I get rid of it. I have, probably
Thousands
9-10 boxes just like in this storage unit, and that's just in there. You know, there's stuff at the warehouse and at the office too. It's like everywhere. There's just boxes of T-shirts
Properly folded, as far as I can see.
What about
sometimes?
What about the sneaker collection?
I have a decent amount of sneakers. It's not like I have just like a ton of Dunks or like all the Jordans. I think I gravitate towards weird sneakers, but I have probably at least a good 30, 40 pairs sitting at the house and more in storage. And
so I have a question about that, because you said you kind of like the weird sneakers juxtaposed to just having like, the cement 3-way Jordan,
right.
Jordan 1s in 9 different colors. What the fuck is going on with these Balenciaga shoes? Like,
dude, they're out there. Balenciaga's crazy, man.
It's crazy. And I saw it on social media. Somebody was like, I think this is like a test of society. They're like, how preposterous.
Well, it is. It's like anti-fashion, right?
I guess. I'm asking you as the king of the local fashion world.
Oh, man.
What is going on? Like, and people are buying them all out of, like, they may be sizes too big or small, and people are sporting these fuckers. Like, and they're preposterous.
It's wild. It's definitely a whole different, like, category of person that's going to wear that. Like, I don't even know if I see, like, many people in Denver or Colorado. Like, we're not going to see many people wearing the Balenciaga shoes, but I was just in Paris, and yeah, that it was out there, man. It was nuts. People were definitely it like the big, because we walked down. I can't even remember the name of the street, but it's one of the like
Rue de something,
Rue de Annears or whatever, and it's it's like where all the luxury stores have like their flagships.
I know what you're talking about, and like there's the Louvre is right there on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
I've done that. We were over there for
Goyard has the original Goyard store. It's
Yeah.
where like the OG shop was. People like wait in line to get into it. But there was a Balenciaga store there, and then there was a few kids walking around like in full fits that were shopping, and I'm just like, these guys are wild. They're like crazy European looking and so tall, with their hair slicked back and like just like so skinny they look like they're about to evaporate.
Like a stiff breeze would knock them over.
Like, it's unreal. Like they just walked off the runway into the store. It was so funny. But yeah, no, you're right. It is this very like it's just a look, I think some people can weirdly pull it off. Like there was one of those kids where I was like, man, he's kind of doing it. But
his friends look like jerk offs.
Yeah, no, it
guy's
just
got
takes
it.
such
Those two don't.
it's like this, it's like you're looking at like this anime silhouette in real life, It's like this idea that people are like, no, we're like, I'm this character and I can dress up however I please every day, and it's like this different swag. But if you own it, man, that's the only thing. If you own it, you own it. It's like it's not what you wear, it's how you wear it, you know?
I couldn't agree more. As someone who's in day 32 of linen watch, I'm wearing linen every day this summer.
Wow. You're already
man.
on day 32.
Yeah. And well, I mean, it was warm in May. And so I think we're on day 32. I try to keep everybody up to date. But I bought like 12 pairs of linen pants, and I'm just going to cycle through them all summer, including the shorts as well. But the problem is with the shorts, you can kind of see the imprint, and that's not necessarily.
I need your address. There has to be linen underwear, like just like a linen loincloth. Oh,
a sarong of just linen.
Yeah.
I would wear the shit
a
out
nice
of it.
pool fit.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. But you're right. It's it's kind of how you present yourself, and that seems to be the case in just about everything, not just in fashion or anything along those lines. But some of those always make me wonder. You mentioned that Denver. Obviously, you can't be sporting the Balenciagas and not be looked at kind of weird, as we may be more of a plaid or an REI-based shopping community.
Just so much Patagonia.
But you've been able to bring some, there's some flair that's coming to Denver. We have the ThriftCon events every month, so, and then we're starting to see these little vintage shops that are starting to become more prominent, since your 2014 days. We're starting to see more streetwear and more eclectic clothes that have hit the streets of Denver.
100%, man. It's amazing. I mean, even in dating back to when I was first getting into it, the first store I ever, had been to in Denver that was pushing this kind of stuff was called the 400 Club. It was owned by a guy named Marlon Proctor. Shout out to Marlo. He still owns stores in Denver. He's bopped around to a few different locations since 2009, 2010. He's also like he's a Grammy-nominated songwriter. He's like written songs for like Boys to Men and people like that.
That's my
he's
jam.
Fire. Yeah, he's fire. But so he started stores in Denver, and he kind of really that's one of the reasons. I said there was kids that put me on to it, but that's like where we were going to find it and shop. And I remember he had like nuggets that went back when it was like the J.R. Smith, Allen Iverson nuggets and shit. Like he had those fools like going in there to buy some stuff, and it was hype, man. So I mean I credit him with being the first ever dude. I always try to like give love to him for being the first dude in Denver pushing it. But it was tough for him for like years, because it really was just this small community and small pocket of people that like showed him love or would continue coming back. And as the years, as we got legalized out here, more rap tours started getting routed here and shit like that, and just more music in general. EDM took off out here. There's just like, it's kind of like bubbled over it's like a lot more eyes are out here. A lot more people are moving here from cities like LA and these places where this culture is a lot more prominent. So I just think, it's the right mix right now. It's like the perfect storm. This shit is happening out here. There's multiple stores. Vintage stores are popping up left and right, and they're all kind of doing it a little bit different, and everyone has their own flavor. There is a couple streetwear stores. Shout out to Zachy at Steadbrook.
Love Zachy and Diego.
Canoe Club up in Boulder. There's even A-Line Boutique sells like really cool shit. They have one downtown and in Cherry Creek. That's like more high-end like designer stuff, but they have like Off-White and brands like that. It's happening, man. It's out here for sure. If you're in Denver and you are interested in this stuff, and you think like there's nowhere to get it, there's nowhere to find people like you're wrong.
I love it.
You're dead wrong.
And I couldn't agree more. Like we've seen the kind of the cultural shift of Denver, especially since cannabis has become more legal because of that and we're seeing it in our industry of like the food scene. We used to be a meat and potatoes town, which no offense, but that's
Dude,
and now
I can't wait. I wanted to get into food too because I'm a big food guy.
Oh, we're going to.
Yes, sir. I'm a big food guy. So we can save that. I
have that. We've got questions from the crowd. I have a fun eclectic question, but before we do that, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the parties that you're fucking throwing right here in our backyard. Rhino, 5 Points area, we're doing pop-ups every fucking month.
You got something to say?
Well, I'm just curious, what is ThriftCon?
Oh man,
sorry.
Wow.
I will start there. For those that maybe don't know what ThriftCon is,
we'll peel back the onion. Let's start at that layer.
Yeah. So ThriftCon grew out of the shop. Okay, and so the store was called Station, and we had two sides of the shop. We had we had kind of like our brand and brands that we carried that were homies and people like around the country that were kind of just bubbling up and doing cool shit. And then the whole other side was just a vintage store. And in doing the vintage thing, we were buy, sell, trade too. So we had, we're out there digging constantly at the bins and going to the flea market every weekend. And then also, being buy, sell, trade, we met all these people in the vintage scene in Denver, other people out there digging, interested in this shit, collecting, reselling, whatever. So we, there's